Media, the Democratic politicians have been in this Weinstein scandal. Also, the NFL, well, they seem to be capitulating now to the players. We'll have an update on that tonight. But first, with Harvey Weinstein facing more and more accusations every single minute from a growing number of actresses, as well as criminal investigations now both in the U.S. and the U.K., well, many of his longtime associates, they're just making an awkward attempt to condemn the once legendary Hollywood producer. Now, tonight, we have all the new developments surrounding Weinstein's conduct or misconduct. Also, will demonstrate just how many people in Hollywood, in the media, in the world of politics, they all knew about these terrible misdeeds and did nothing. Plus, one Hollywood A-lister says Weinstein's disgusting behavior is just the tip of the iceberg for the entire industry out there. The left, Hollywood, Democratic politicians, they always claim moral high ground. You know what? They can't anymore because America knows the sad, despicable truth. That and much more in this breaking news important monologue. So tonight, Harvey Weinstein's former company, Weinstein Company, is now reportedly considering selling the business or bankruptcy, a claim that they're strongly denying, and for good reason. Tonight, the number of damning sexual harassment allegations against Harvey Weinstein, it continues to grow. Now, meanwhile, Weinstein has allegedly checked himself into a rehab center in Arizona. But British actress Emma Thompson believes that Weinstein's problems aren't due to a sexual addiction, but rather a pattern of widespread abuse across the entire film industry. Emma Thompson confirmed what we have been saying on this program all week. Watch this.
What I find sort of extraordinary is that, you know, this man is at the top of a very particular iceberg, you know, and I don't think you can describe him as a sex addict, he's a predator. But what he's, as it were, the top of the ladder of is a system of harassment and belittling and bullying and interference and what my mother would have referred to in the olden days as pestering.
So when you describe him as being the tip of the iceberg, do you think there are others like that in your industry in Hollywood?
Of course.
Many?
Many.
Emma Thompson confirmed what we have been saying on this program all week, and that is the long-rumored so-called casting couch, the culture in Hollywood. It appears to be alive and well, and almost everyone seemed to be in on this open secret about Weinstein. Now, for those of you who may not know about the casting couch, well, it's rumored to be a practice where auditions are often paired with a sexual quid pro quo. You want a role? Oh, give this person what they want. In other words, well, you may get the role, you may get the job if you sleep with somebody. In Hollywood, it's been an open secret for years. And according to multiple accounts from actresses like Heather Graham, Rosanna Arquette, Harvey Weinstein tried to utilize this so-called casting couch on multiple occasions. But this Hollywood scandal was no secret. And by the way, that could be one of the most disturbing aspects of this story. Now, even Hollywood liberal Jane Fonda admits that she knew about Weinstein's sexual deviance for at least a year, but said nothing. And Fonda now says she should have been braver. Watch this.
I found out about him about a year ago, and I wish that I had spoken out.
Why didn't you?
Well, it didn't happen to me.
I understand that, but nonetheless.
I didn't want to expose, and I will admit that I should have been braver.
Wow, moral courage brought to you by Hannity Jane. Now, she always seems to be on the wrong side of things, right? Now, actress Gwyneth Paltrow has also come forward with her own personal knowledge of Harvey Weinstein's casting couch abuse. A video now surfaced from 1998. Watch this very awkward exchange between Paltrow and late-night host David Letterman regarding Weinstein's tactics. Watch this.
I do all my movies for Harvey Weinstein. That's Miramax for all of you.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to do them there, but he will coerce you to do it.
And so Harvey said, I tell you what, go on and talk about your movie. Is that what Harvey said?
Yeah.
And in return, what will Harvey do for you?
Nothing.
Really? Well, what's wrong with that equation? As the kids say, you do the math. You know, I'm kind of fed up with Harvey's behavior, and because I'm grateful to him in the sense that he brought you here tonight.
Right.
You know, thank God for Harvey.
An open secret. They're all talking about it. And speaking of David Letterman, another video of the former late-night host has been unearthed from 2013 where he jokes about Weinstein being a total creep with Jennifer Lawrence. Let's look at this.
Is there a big party after the premiere?
Yeah.
What happens there?
Well, I go.
People like Harvey Weinstein come up and want to hug you.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I just need some affection. I don't care.
Oh, you don't mind when a guy like Harvey Weinstein?
No, I mean, yeah, hugs I'm okay with. I'm so tired of, hi, yeah. Just somebody, just hold me. You know?
Oh. And as we showed you last night, there's this video from 2013 of comedian Seth MacFarlane making this joke about Weinstein while announcing Oscar nominations. Watch this.
Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
Now, MacFarlane now says he made that comment from a place of, quote, loathing and anger because a friend told him about an encounter that she had with Harvey Weinstein. And let's not forget this clip from NBC's 30 Rock. Watch this.
I'm not afraid of anyone in show business. I turned down intercourse with Harvey Weinstein on no less than 3 occasions out of 5.
Now, the bottom line is nothing Harvey Weinstein did is funny. In fact, I wish people would have picked up on these clues and called him out sooner. How many women, imagine how many women could have been spared if he had been exposed earlier? And that's why we're so outraged over reports that some of the liberal mainstream media, they may have punted, spiked stories about Weinstein's misconduct. That makes them culpable in some ways, doesn't it? Now, Ronan Farrow, he works for NBC News, and he published an explosive report about Weinstein with The New Yorker because he says NBC News, they didn't want it. NBC, of course, they're now saying at the time that Ronan came to them, the story wasn't strong enough to be made public. Now, you can decide for yourself based on what we've learned this week. But here's the problem. NBC was not the only member of the media to spike the Harvey Weinstein story, according to Sharon Waxman. She's a former New York Times reporter. Well, this goes back all the way to 2004, a story that she was working on about Weinstein. Well, that was eventually killed by the so-called paper of record after being allegedly pressured to do so. And not surprisingly, a former New York Times editor, he denies this happened. So now, while nearly everyone seemed to know about Weinstein's behavior and abuse, well, he's not the only person in Hollywood who's been accused of these sexual misdeeds. Tonight, we have a new allegation of sexual abuse against famed Hollywood director Oliver Stone. Model and actress Carrie Stevens told The Hollywood Reporter that Oliver Stone actually groped her at a party in the 1990s. We reached out to Stone for comment. We didn't get a response yet. And yesterday, the director came under heavy fire and scrutiny after he refused to even condemn Harvey Weinstein. And instead, he said, quote, "Oh, it's not easy what he's going through." He? Now, after intense public pressure, Oliver Stone, he had to backtrack and is now claiming that he's appalled by the revelation surrounding Weinstein. And then you have famed director Quentin Tarantino. This is what he said. "For the last week, I have been stunned and heartbroken about the revelations that have come to light about my friend for 25 years, Harvey Weinstein. I need a few more days to process my pain, emotions, anger, and memory, and then I'll speak publicly about it." Quentin, how much time do you need? Now, meanwhile, late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, well, he finds a liberal cause to weep over nearly every week now. But he hasn't shed a tear for the victims of Harvey Weinstein or given an emotional monologue about them. And earlier today on ABC, Jimmy Kimmel defended his lack of Weinstein jokes. Really? Watch this.
First of all, the Harvey Weinstein thing, people like this false equivalence as if that somehow is equivalent to what happened in Las Vegas. I mean, Harvey Weinstein is not a person is not a friend of mine. I'm not in the movie business. And I'll add that that story came out, like, I think moments before we went to tape on Thursday, and we didn't have a show on Friday. So
you addressed it on the following Monday.
Yeah. So, you know, of course, that was it's a convenient. Now what they're doing now is they're trying to drag up any kind of, especially these gun nuts, trying to drag any, like, take any comedy bit I did out of context and use it as some kind of proof. They're saying that I'm calling myself the moral conscience of America, which I most certainly never did.
gun nuts, not the moral conscience of America? Well, I guess Kimmel reserves his late-night comments for causes that are only politically expedient for him. And by the way, speaking of Mr. Kimmel, well, last night we played for you part of a very disturbing clip of him when he was the co-host of The Man Show, asking women, some as young as 18, to feel and touch with both hands and put their mouth on what's in his pants. Now, before we show you, we must warn you, this video is extremely graphic. Take a look. Mr. Kimmel, you proud of this?
This game show is called Guess What's in My Pants. Now, I've stuffed something in my pants, and you're allowed to feel around on the outside of the pants. You'll have 10 seconds to then guess what is in my pants. You ready?
Set.
Go.
It looks fun.
You should use two hands. Two hands. You're going to make a fine one. You've done this before, haven't you? All right.
Right there?
I mean, yeah, just a few more seconds. How old are you?
18.
Okay, good. You sure of that? Because Uncle Jimmy doesn't need to do time. Maybe it would be easier if you put your mouth on it. You've got a nice technique there. You could get in the Olympics with this, let me tell you.
See, 18, put your mouth on it, put both hands on it. Guess what, Kimmel, you're pretty creepy. Yeah, okay, you're not the moral compass, if you will, for America today. I'll agree with that. But this goes to a much larger point. Hollywood, for years, they've romanticized sex and violence. They have made billions and billions of dollars off of feeding us crap and formulaic movies. And maybe this is a wake-up call, not only for Tinseltown, but for the whole country. By the way, 2 years ago, when I decided to become the executive producer of a faith-based film that doesn't demean the values of conservatives and Christians. It's called Let There Be Light. It'll be out in a couple of weeks. This is one of the things that was going through my mind. This goes much deeper than just Hollywood. Movie executives preying on young female actors and models. What about the modeling industry? What about the music industry? Is this type of behavior, is it happening there as well? As Emma Thompson said, Harvey Weinstein, is this just the tip of the iceberg? The next video we're about to show you is from 2013. This is Corey Feldman, an actor. During an interview, he was on The View, speaking about the abuse that he suffered growing up as a child actor in Hollywood. Why didn't people pay attention? Watch this.
I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
And they are.
And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
And that they're still in this business?
Yes. Don't go into it thinking that it's all roses and
You're
sunglasses and
damaging an entire industry.
That's beyond disturbing, and it should be brought to light. These are children. These are young adults. They're young kids. Now, when it comes to the Harvey Weinstein scandal, we shouldn't be surprised that Hollywood didn't expose him for decades. And remember, Hollywood's obsession, absolute obsession with Roman Polanski. You know, the guy charged with raping a 13-year-old girl in the 70s when he was 43 years old. And, of course, he gave her champagne and Quaaludes and then raped this poor girl. Well, guess what? In total, the Hollywood director has been accused of 4 separate instances of raping a child or a young teen. You want to see something disgusting? Well, in 2003, there you have all the Hollywood A-listers in their red carpet, including Meryl Streep, giving a rousing applause to the guy that raped a 13-year-old girl. Watch this.
Roman Polanski, with a pianist.
They're so happy, up on their feet, standing ovation about a child rapist. Well, if that doesn't show you how depraved values in Hollywood are, really? You're standing and applauding that guy? Now, but Hollywood's praise of Roman Polanski, it doesn't even end there. Martin Scorsese praised Polanski at the Academy Awards. And actor Christopher Waltz said that he, quote, loved the director at the Venice Film Festival. Waltz and Scorsese, well, they're not alone in their praise, and that's where we bring this story full circle. In 2009, Harvey Weinstein actually wrote an op-ed defending the child rapist Polanski, titled "Harvey Weinstein, Polanski has served his time and must be freed." The subtitle reads, "It's a shocking way to treat a man who went through the Holocaust and his wife's murder." In the piece, Weinstein writes this, quote, "Roman Polanski is a man who cares deeply about his art and its place in this world. What happened to him on his incredible path is filled with tragedy, and most men would have collapsed.